People, I'm back already. It's Monday, and I want to just, I'm just getting going here. So, but I thought, let me keep talking here for a number of reasons, But let me just get a sip. To be completely upfront, which I am, to the point of being willing to give you too much information. The reason why I'm making another video already is my sister. I love the connection that we have, and I just realized, she appreciates it when she can see a new update from me. And so, hey, Stephanie, love you so much. This is for everyone, but that's part of what prompted me to say to just go ahead and make another video. In the past, I've done this in JAGs where I'll just make a video every day. Sometimes I've made 2 videos a day, just however I feel it. And I also feel that since I feel like I've gotten better at stating my position on being a public figure here and dealing with that, the positives and negatives of it, I'm just going to push forward. Because just like the planet will never get rid of roaches. Was that an insult? Yeah. But it's like, what else? How else can I, I'm as decent as I can be, and that doesn't work. This book is fantastic, but another thought I'm having right quick is I imagine the folks who are persistently are unkind to other people are the same, and I will denigrate them, the same idiots that end up in viral videos online, for example, from like Black Friday, the people squabbling, literally fighting with no sense of themselves and dignity, just squabbling, over material items. My thought is, if I were to ever happen to see one of those news reports and you see all these adults fighting and beating each other up trying to get something or whatever it is, and I happen to see someone I know, you better believe I'd be saying, what the hell were you doing on there? What got into you? How is that? Is that who you really are? It's like when you're in a band playing at a show in a bar. You have the people that you want to rally around you, and then there's the drunken fools that you want nothing to do with, okay? Make myself clear? I finished this book last night, Phil Collins' Not Dead Yet. What a fantastic read. Warts and all. I highly recommend it. Thank you again, Bob, for sending it to me. I love Phil Collins' candor. I learned a lot of things about him as a human being. Genesis music arrived on my psyche at a time as a teenager when I was really needing it. But I want to share that even though I really wasn't aware of him. I was actually aware of Phil Collins before Genesis and had this album for years before I finally scored my first Genesis album. And it's good to hear him talk in the book and also in other interviews where he explains how this project came together, Flaming Youth, Arc 2, and what it was all about. And it's not a great album, but it has its moments. I'm just really happy that it made enough of an impression on me throughout all these years with all the cool records I've had and gotten rid of. I managed to keep this one, partially once I became a Genesis fan and realized who Phil Collins was. Well, yeah, then it became a permanent fixture. I think it's very brave of Phil to talk about his ups and downs, and not really surprised or disappointed, but the humanness of Phil as a person really comes through here. When I first encountered the music of Genesis, it was really mysterious and special to me and really appealed to my brain as well as my heart. And so I just, as a fan, you can only make certain assumptions. The band seemed really intelligent and philosophical. Well, that was coming from certain members, but not one of them was not Phil, which also completely explains why when he went solo, his music sounded so mainstream, because he was a pop head. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But the juxtaposition from where he started playing in Genesis to when he emerged solo, and how that hit the public conscience, especially fans like me, it was a bit of an adjustment. But people are people, and reading the last part of the book where he became a full-blown alcoholic and almost killed himself. Well, we're human, and I come from a family of alcoholics, and grew up with seeing the behavior that Phil showed to his, unfortunately, to his younger two sons for a time before he cleaned up. Literally, dealing with, your uncle's so drunk that they're out in the middle of the street, stopping traffic, urinating in public, losing their bowels while you're watching TV in the living room with grandma and stuff, These are stories I can tell and that I went through, And so it was, that part of the book was tough, but it makes me respect and love him as a human being all that much more, that he's willing to share that. The other part of him that he's willing to share, which is so human and not like me and yet like me, is that how he just kept falling in love and going from marriage to marriage, and every time he met someone he just fell in love. Well, see, I can relate to that, but I haven't done that because I understand that, like him, he says, I have no problem being alone. Being a musician, a drummer, I can occupy myself very easily. I'm the same way, but I'm also the same way like him, where I fall in love all the time. But the thing is, I also know that when you fall in love, people need attention, and I guess I'm selfish because I'll give a certain amount of attention, then I want to go back to doing what I want to do, which is exactly the way Phil is. No wonder his marriages failed. Third one is patched back together. Wish him the best of luck. Great book. A couple other things. People have asked in recent videos, and I can remember this one. Someone said, have you ever heard of Hetfield North in the North? Of course. But I shouldn't say, of course. How would you know? You don't know me. But what I would say is, and I'll say it cockily, in a cocky way, yes, I'm very interested in the history of music. I'm very interested in the very best. And Hetfield and the North are an example of some of the very best rock music, or whatever genre you want to use, to come out of England. Especially when you talk about progressive music that's moving and shaping and changing. I have a lot of the albums related to all the members in this band, starting before Dave Stewart was in this band, with Arzeko and Khan and Egg. Hetfield and North, excellent, absolutely. I believe their on-screen name is Terry Pussy Power. Someone just asked me, have I heard of the Very Things? Yeah. And do I feel good about, and is it somewhat adolescent of me to still be really feeling cool about knowing about this stuff? Maybe. So what? I do. I love the fact that I know about this stuff, Music has been my obsession since I was a kid, If my history wasn't so financially rocky, I would have everything. I want to mention someone who recently I discovered. I think he's from Norway, and started watching his videos. Wow, what a collection. He's got a lot of records that are very collectible to me. I watched a video yesterday where he showed a Van Frieder album and the Parsons Sound 3-disc set. Records I'd love to own. I have them digitally. So I can't think of his name. Maybe if you see it, you'll post a note so people can find you, but I found your collection to be, wow, I want all those records, the ones I don't have. I'll also say that, here, okay. So I hear the comment after I showed the Dead Can Dance. That's cool to hear that you're into Dead Can Dance. I'm into the best. And I caught on the Dead Can Dance when they happened. I wasn't a latecomer. I was there at the beginning. Lisa Gerrard and Brendan Perry. Again, music that seemed very deep, almost inhumanly so. Music that really has taught me and continues to teach me a lot. The words on this album, very philosophical. Almost like reading, a philosophical text. I love some music like this. And I showed this one. And then I get to a point in my life where, money gets tighter and I can't follow them like I want to. Like most collectors, we want to keep collecting and buy everything, I was able to get Anastasis. But they have some other records that I'm not able to get. I have them on CD, like Into the Labyrinth and stuff. I did manage to get the box set when it came out. Dead Can Dance, 1981, 1998. Plus, I love the 4AD label, and was a big collector of it. I've still got most of my Cocteau Twins, Modern English, Bauhaus, other things on that label. I love it. And then, see, I don't feel like I have to represent. I don't feel like I have to show you black music to qualify that I'm black. That's a bunch of bullshit. I'm a human being. This is what I listen to. That has incensed me my entire life. This whole idea, like, you got to represent. Well, I am representing as a human being. Catch up to me. But I got death. One of the first black rock bands. Tragic story. But when you hear this album, it's like, man, the industry wasn't ready for them. And I've had someone give me Death Grips. I wouldn't buy Death Grips, no. But do I get it now after having it to listen to? I get it. Yeah. In my own music making, the way that they make beats and hip-hop and everything now, I do try to make music. I do try to kind of do a catch-up is what I'd say, But I'm 61 going on 62, and so this is not the music of my youth. And so I just, I like some of it, but it's not my heart. And so sometimes I get a little hung up thinking I got to try to modernize and keep up, and it's like I really just need to just be me and incorporate what I hear that feels right to me rather than trying to sound like everyone else, because that's what ends up happening. You just try really hard to sound like the most recent sound, which is not very fulfilling. Something I pulled that I'm going to play today, I didn't get to it last night because I love space music. Klaus Schulze, Irrlicht. I love synthesizer music. I love the German school. I love Ashra's Temple, and that was one of the first German bands I heard as a teenager was Ashra Temple. And Popol Vuh, those were the first albums. Those were the first quote-unquote German cosmic music albums I heard before I heard Faust. And I got Popol Vuh right away. Ashra Temple I didn't like at first. I thought it was too primitive, the first a couple albums. I had them, originals, and I got rid of them, Yeah, I regret that. Then another album that I have been starting to play, and then I stop because I get distracted, but is coming up, is Comic Opera by Robert Wyatt. Robert Wyatt needs no introduction. If you actually don't know who this man is, get on Google and get educated. Last thing I'll show here is I've shared with you that I recently played a show opening for Vinyl Williams and traded Yeah, I do trade. I've got a little pile down here building. I do trade to get records, and but this is a work of art. Many of these records I do not want to trade, and some of the records that I can trade are so obscure that when I go to trade them, well, the people at the shop tell me when nobody knows about them. Won't be able to sell them. So this is really good. I've really come around to what Vinyl Williams is trying to push his sound and what he's doing further ahead. This is like the other music that appeals to me. It's philosophical. It's for the head. It's for the whole body. But recently, okay, just again giving too much information because this is my forum to explain more what kind of person I am or how I identify. I love all kinds of music. I recently watched a documentary on the three-piece Morphine, who I've had some music by that I've acquired through promos. I used to get them for free. I may have sold it or given it away. I was looking for it after I watched it. But in the documentary, they talk about literally what they're trying to do with their music is trying to appeal to the gut and to the pelvis, and make your feet move, And their manager said as much, that we like the music because it makes you want to move and it makes you want to have sex, Nothing wrong with that. But that has not been my primary reason for being involved in music or listening. I'm not listening to the music for the sex part or for procreation music or music to bed women with or guys. I'm looking at the music I have a very personal relationship with it, and it's very much about a learning experience as well as setting up an internal landscape through the audio that makes life much more livable. With that said, I highly doubt that a person like Trump or any of the people surrounding him would have a clue what this music is about. So there. I appreciate your love and friendship. Third Ear Productions, be strong. Jen, over in, is it the Netherlands, Holland? I know you're there. Hey, girl. Benny, UK, I just got a message. She's still around. That warms my heart. Some of you people, it's like a group of old friends. And my life is like this here in Omaha. I have people I've known in my life. I don't have to be up in your face all the time. I may not see you for years, but you're still my friend. And when I do see you, it's good. So much love to all of you. All of you.